Hey guys, it's Melissa. In this video, I am going to show you how to set up your designs so that they knock out the color of your shirt, or in this case, a bag. Super easy to do. I actually don't use any fancy software other than Silhouette Studio. So you don't need a Silhouette machine to do this. It is free to download this software. There is a one-time upgrade that's about 50 bucks. You are going to be able to vectorize, you're going to be able to trace, you're going to be able to export as an SVG, import as an SVG, remove the background, so many different things that you can do in Silhouette Studio that you can't do in every other program as a combination of features. Silhouette Studio. So let's start there, and I'm going to show you how to get to this point. Okay, so here we are in Silhouette Studio, and Silhouette Studio can do everything that we need to knock out the color of the shirt or knock out whatever color it is that you want to make your images more transfer friendly. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So first thing that we are going to do is go to File, Merge. Now File Merge allows us to bring a file in, a large PNG file, and it seems to work better than drag and drop. I do love a good drag and drop, but with PNG files you can get hung up on the processing and run into issues. So I actually have a separate video on that I will link to in the description below. But in the meantime, the fix is to go to File, Merge. So I'm going to use this file here. It's part of a mini bundle that I got from So Fancy. Again, I will link that to the description below as well. So what you're going to see is that this file comes in full of color. It has some areas that are shaded. It has some areas that are black. It is a perfect file for something like sublimation or a transfer. This would not be a good real cutting file in my opinion, only because there are so many cut lines and the edge is supposed to be feathered looking. I just don't like the roughness that you get when you cut, but that's a separate video. Okay, so here is the file, and what you're going to notice is that even though I'm using Silhouette Studio, I'm not going to use a silhouette at all in this process. So you do not have to use a silhouette cutting machine or even own one to use and enjoy the benefits and the huge number of features and tools that Silhouette Studio offers. You will need to have the one-time upgrade of Business Edition in order to export, but the software itself is free to download, and the upgrade is one time for about $50. So you literally can't beat it. You're going to be amazed at the amount of things that this can do. So in this case, what we're going to do is knock out the black, because we are going to use a black background. So, or, you know, a shirt or a bag or something that is black. So we're going to knock it out. What I would suggest that you do to start, in order to make this as easy as possible and to cut down on the amount of processing that the software has to do, is to turn off the cut line. So do you see all these red lines? Every single one of those is a cut line, and all of that is this extra data that the software has to try to process. So I just like to click no cut. That turns that off completely, all right, before we even start. Then we're going to go back to the send panel, to the design area, and we're going to open up the trace tool, which is over here, and it looks like a little butterfly, okay? And we're not going to use select trace area. We are going to do trace by color. So I'm going to click trace by color, and my mouse is going to turn into, well, it's actually just an arrow. So you can just pick the color that you want. All right, so I'm picking black. I'm just clicking directly on the black. Now, why did it only pick that one little area? Well, right now we just have single area, and the tolerance is a little bit too low. So first thing that we want to do is switch this to all areas. Okay, now you can see that all of the areas that were black are now filled. Now, I am going to increase the tolerance a little bit, because if you look on areas like here on some of this thin font text, you're getting, it's not like a complete fill. And so some of the black is still going to be there. So I'm just going to increase the tolerance a bit so that it increases the amount of shading, yellow shading. You don't want to do too much, because then it's going to kind of blur or make it so it's not sharp. Okay. Then I'm just going to click trace. Now the box is going to go away. The yellow is going to go away, and it's going to look like nothing happened. But what you have actually done is created a cut line. It's difficult to see because it's black. But at this point, what we need to do is we now need to crop out the cut lines, where those cut lines were created, from the original design. So don't move anything. Go over to your tools on the side and you're going to open up the modify. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. You're going to open up the modify panel. So the modify panel is probably the most confusing panel in Silhouette Studio. And I'm going to be completely honest, there are many times when I use a function and then I'm like, nope, that wasn't it. Undo. And then I try another one because for whatever reason, I cannot ever seem to understand. Well, I understand them. I just always forget which one is which. But in this case, we're going to click subtract. So we're going to select everything. When I say everything, we need the design itself selected. See how there's two bounding boxes here? So that's the full design. And then this inner one here is the actual trace that we made. The trace was done second. So that is the top layer. And that is going to subtract out. So once this is finished processing, that black is removed. And now what we have are all these individual bounding boxes. So don't deselect yet. Just right click and click group. That's going to group everything back together so that you have one bounding box. Now, if you want to check what this is going to look like on a black background, what you can do is go up here to the page setup panel and see down here where it says media color. So right now we're just on a white media color. All right. And I have full 0% transparency. If I change this to black, that is going to show me what this design is going to look like on a black background. And I want to make one more adjustment so that I can get a truly accurate look. So right now, this has a red cut line around the whole thing. See up here where it says red? So I'm just going to change this to transparent. And it's just going to be a subtle change, but to me, it makes it so much clearer what this is going to look like on a black background. So what we have accomplished here is, again, remember this black back here is literally just our background. If I pull this over, you can see that my design is transparent. So what we have done is we have created natural breathing room in our transfer. This is going to give it stretchability. It's going to help prevent cracking. It's going to use less ink or toner depending on what you're doing. So this is a really, really good tool and a really awesome way to use Silhouette Studio. You did it. Super easy, right? So that works for designs that you just want to remove a certain color. You can also remove the background that way. Now, how do you get it then from Silhouette Studio out of Silhouette Studio so that you can print your transfer? This video right here, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So head over there and you'll be amazed at how much ink you're saving, both black and white, how much better your transfer feels because it's not one solid piece. You're also going to be able to have better flexibility, better washability, all because you have knocked out the color of the shirt that you're already going to use. All right, guys, see you soon.